Hello, good afternoon. Hello, everybody. We're going to get started pretty close to on time. Good for us. Welcome to the third working group of the Emerging Technology Working Group sessions. Some familiar faces. That's awesome. My name is Lorna Shepard. I actually am a professional facilitator. I do this for a living. I don't work for the city. The city asked us to come in and support a really smart group of people who are working on what you're contributing to. So nothing you say will ever hurt my feelings. I want to just explain a couple things. You have some things on your desk, and I'm going to explain them all in greater detail. This list, this piece of paper on your desk, is actually a really helpful summary of what you see on the walls, because if you're like me, you can see the one closest to you, and then you can't see any of the others. Okay, so we're going to walk through what's on the walls, but the detail is in front of you, which I think is probably a little bit more useful and won't hurt your neck. And the dots are for later. If you've been here before, you know I like dots. So we'll explain what you're going to do with the dots in a moment. But first, I want to introduce Linda Garul, who's the CIO, and she would like to kick us off.
So good afternoon. We're so very glad to see so many familiar faces back with us. On behalf of Supervisor Yee and also City Administrator Naomi Kelly, I just want to welcome you. We are very excited about this project and appreciate your attendance. So welcome to our neighbors, to our city partners, to the city staff that is here. All the city staff, raise your hands because you get to be tagged if somebody needs help, right? And especially On Strategy, who has been with us and is leading us and facilitating this conversation. So we certainly appreciate their help. But today's an exciting day. We have had 2 listening sessions, and we have analyzed that information and summarized that information, and we're going to move forward into some more discussion about how to better get your ideas on outcomes and that sort of thing. So all of this is a progression. It's part of our path forward, and really trying to make this something that is of value to the city. What's very interesting, and our technology committee for the city has found that there are many other cities that are in this same process of trying to decide how to bring emerging technologies into their cities, how to manage them, how to approve them, how to govern them. And so we are, of course, hopefully, leading that conversation, and we will certainly share our outcomes and our results with our neighbors. So all your work may have an even broader reach, and I think that's kind of exciting. So, okay, with that, what's next? All righty. Thank you.
Thanks, Linda. Okay, a couple things. Want to point out you're on SFGovTV. Everybody turn to a camera and wave. So what's happening is we're going to try to let you all have really great experiences in small groups to contribute your expert opinions. But remotely, we will provide a link for those people who are participating remotely. They're going to do the same thing you're doing, but online. So that's pretty cool, right? Good for us. Thank you very much. What do I do? Okay, 10-4. Okay, so just a reminder of what we're doing and why you're here on a Friday afternoon. Thank you for doing that. We want to inform our recommendations from you as subject matter experts. So you're providing all the fuel and fodder and information that the staff is processing out with the direction and guidance of the city administrator, Naomi Kelly, so that we can come to recommendations on how does the city, what are the city policies around emerging technology, right? So you are subject matter experts, and you are informing us. And we're going to talk a little bit about who we've heard from so far, and we are going to hear from you and who you are. You're going to introduce yourselves, and in some cases, introduce yourselves again, because I know there's some return visitors. So what we're trying to do today is identify potential solutions to the problems and opportunities. The last 2 sessions were about problems and opportunities, problems, really. Today we're about solving, right? Doesn't mean that we can't come up with a new problem, but the idea is we filtered a lot of good information. And so we really want to see, what are those solutions that are going to support its residents, businesses, and visitors, so that emerging technology is a good thing for the experience of all those constituents. Okay, so this is how this works, this working group thing. This is familiar, what we want from you and what you get from us, the staff. We do obviously want you here in person. We love that. There are online surveys, some cases pre, some cases post, some cases both. If you can't attend a session, the surveys are actually like fueling and contributing to the content you're generating here, so don't think it's just wasted effort. It's not gratuitous. But we want your participation, be it in person or virtual. And the staff has, man, they have just shown up. They have been here and they will be here. So they're here in person to interact with you and hear from you personally. So you'll see I'm pretty light facilitator, right? I'm pretty light touch because I'm not from the city, and you're going to get a lot of facilitation interaction with your staff contacts. They are going to today, in fact, share the previous 2 sessions outcomes, so you kind of can follow along the process and see how we're doing, how we've taken all the input from almost 200 people and synthesized it and come up with intelligent, thoughtful next steps and direction. And we'll give you updates on our progress. So the idea, again, and this is why I appreciate that some of you have returned, is that each session builds on the next one. So if you're available September 17th, you're not going to be doing the same thing you're doing today on August 17th, okay? The postcards outside, I'm sorry to grab one. The postcards outside have all sorts of great information that has the schedule on it and the website and how you find out when the next session is and what's going on, okay? I'm a really fast talker, but I'm a really good listener. If you have a question, just shoot your hand up and I'll stop talking. Okay, so here's where we are. The 9th and the 23rd of last month were all about sort of like, oh, let's just put all the problems on the table. Let's just get them out, even benefits as well. And today we're really trying to sort of identify the needs. And by identifying needs, we mean, what are some potential solutions to those problems? You know, how do we address them thoughtfully and universally so that it's a rising tide, right? It's not single interest. Okay, that's what we're working on. And then in September, we're going to come back to developing recommendations, maybe even sort of like prioritizing recommendations. That would be kind of a fun exercise. And then finally in November, you're going to hear and know what the final recommendations are. So you'll have a really good sense of what is it that the city administrator is recommending to the supervisors per their request. Okay? And by the way, content does get posted on the website. So, you know, if you miss a session, you can always catch up. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do a round of introductions. We did it so well the last 2 sessions. I know that we will do it just as well and quickly, but it's good to know who's in the room. That helps all of us. We're going to talk a little bit about the direction that we've come to and the decisions to date. And then we're going to spend the most of our time, just like we did the last 2 sessions, on getting your input in small groups, because this is a large group. There's no way we would get to hear from all of you. So you're going to get to stand up, move around, and get some chance to give some specific input. And then we'll quickly cover some next steps. So let's do the introductions, okay? We're just going to go down the room, and I am asking you to use the mic. I know that's always a little uncomfortable. And in 15 seconds, you're just going to tell us who you are and the organization or the constituency you're representing, please.
Lori Sanchez, Community Technology Network, digital literacy for marginalized populations.
Hi, I'm Krista Kanalakis. I'm the Chief Innovation Officer for the City of San Francisco.
Hi, I'm Anya Deepak. I'm with the Department of Environment, focusing today more on waste and toxics reduction.
Scott Mauvais, Microsoft.
Susan Poor, the San Francisco Tech Council, which is a multi-sector initiative to advance digital inclusion for seniors and people with disabilities. I talk fast too.
Wow.
Whoa. Marie Joblin, Community Living Campaign, and the SF Tech Council.
Fiona Hendy, Independent Living Resource Center, San Francisco.
Can we do this row here?
Hey, I'm Zach Burke. I'm here with Exigy. We're a digital studio focused on building resilient and healthy communities.
I'm Mershura Chigai, and I'm a volunteer with the Community Living Campaign.
Jim Anderson, Cathedral Hill Neighbors.
Kayvon Broman, GT Venture, an incubator for emerging technology.
Chris Swayce with San Francisco Yellow Cab.
Hi, everybody. I'm Charles Rathbone. I worked in the taxi industry for about 40 years, mostly as a driver, also as a manager with Luxor Cab, and I'm also a San Francisco taxi cab medallion holder.
Matthias Jaime with the Committee on Information Technology.
Rodrigo Davies with Strava Metro, partnering with communities on the future of active transportation infrastructure.
Susan Ma, Office of Economic and Workforce Development.
Vignesh Ganapathy, or Viggy, with Postmates. Zach Drucker with SF City, San Francisco's Tech Trade Association.
My name is Preston Ray. I'm with Monkey Brains. We're a local internet service provider in San Francisco.
Hi everyone, I'm Carrie Bishop. I'm the Chief Digital Services Officer for the City of San Francisco.
Hello, Erin McAuliffe, SFMTA's Accessible Services.
Rick Hall, Cultural Action Network and United to Save the Mission.
Lulu Feliciano, Public Outreach and Engagement Manager for the SFMTA.
Hi, I'm Vaz Caneres. I'm with the Fillmore Merchants, West Portal Merchants, and the San Francisco Council District of Merchant Associations.
Hi, I'm Franco Arietta. I'm the Regional General Manager with Zipcar, the world's largest car sharing service.
I'm Stuart Coltrell. I'm the Locations Manager for Zipcar here in the Bay Area.
Sadie Harmon. I'm the Dementia Inclusive Communities Director at Elder Care Alliance.
Hello, I'm Willie Franklin. I work at Health Right 360. We have an integrated care center just down the street.
Galen Alexander with Rift City Strategies.
I'm Daryl Yip. I'm a planner at the Office of Innovation at the SFMTA.
And I'm Paul Chaston. I'm an urban designer with the Planning Department.
Dermot Hickish with Gig Car Share. We're a division of AAA's innovation arm.
Hi, I'm Daniel Palmer. I'm with the city's Civic Innovation team.
Brian Roberts with the City Department of Technology.
Josh Tovar with the Department of Technology.
Nick Nikema from Supervisor Normandy office.
I'm Fran Taylor from CC Puede, and I don't text or use emojis, but if I did, I would have Aretha walking on the sidewalk saying RESPECT.
All right.
Wow, I'm Kathy DeLuca. I can't follow that. Kathy DeLuca with Walk San Francisco.
Marlo Sandler, Bird Scooters.
Hi, I'm Maurice Bizzari. I'm president of the 50 Lansing HOA.
Hi everyone, Hannah Krieger with the Green Lining Institute. We advocate for low-income folks of color across California.
I'm Cody Merrill with Socialwise, and we're a startup company working on a gig economy public works platform.
Hello, I'm Luis Quadra with Marble Robots.
Hi, Walter Rosencrans with Car2Go, free-floating point-to-point car share.
Doug Block with Teamsters Joint Council 7. We have 12,000 members in San Francisco, and we are the A to Z union. We have everybody from airline mechanics out at SFO to zookeepers at the San Francisco Zoo.
Blake Valento with the city's Department of Technology.
Jason Lally, City Department of Technology.
Gregory Stock. I'm head of content and strategic partnerships for Firefly, a new company putting screens on top of Uber and Lyft, as well as partnering with taxi companies. So really excited to be here, and San Francisco citizen.
Hi, I'm Kyle Merson. I'm with Chariot Transit Inc.
Hi, I'm Anil. I'm with the U.S. Digital Service, but I'm here today just representing myself as a resident of San Francisco.
Hi, everybody. I'm Nicole Bond from the Mayor's Office on Disability.
Hi, I'm Heather Kittle with the Mayor's Office on Disability.
Hi, I'm Deborah Lutsky. I'm a Deputy Bureau Manager at Street Use and Mapping for Public Works.
Alex Bond with the City Office of Digital Equity.
Jimena Sarango with the Office of Civic Innovation.
Britt Bieber with the Committee on Information Technology.
Hi, I'm Dart Nito. I lead the Office of Innovation for SFMTA.
Well, thank you, everybody. Again, a really great mix of interests and expertise. So that's going to be an exciting day. Okay. So this is us trying to be techie. Me trying to be techie. So we thought this would be fun. On your phone, whether you have an iPhone or an Android like me, you have emojis. If you pull out your phone and you text CCSF to the number 22333, we have staff members who can help you. Also, by the way, much younger than me. We are wondering your answer to the question, what emoji best reflects the impact emerging technology has had on you or the organization and constituency you're representing. Anything's game as long as it's an emoji. You can also do this online at pollev.com. Let me know if you need. Oh, any emoji you like. Any emoji you like. That was just my examples of the range of happy, sad. Sorry, I didn't explain that very well. Any emoji, good, bad, or otherwise, meaning smiley faces or unicorns or anything in between. One, please. We have a big crowd. You're going to have to pick the one that most represents you. Yeah, I'm sorry. Let's do this one more time. So you're going to enter 22333. That's the number you're texting. And you're going to text the letters CCSF. So open up your message platform. I want to make sure of that. Let's make sure. So you're going to dial 22333. And you're going to type an emoji. I'm going to type this one. Yep, you have to, yeah, sorry, I'm not explaining that right. Okay, so first, you're typing CCSF 222333. And now you may type in your emoji. They're not popping in on my screen. Oh, they're working. It's working, it's just not working on my screen. So this is pretty fun. So it is working. We are capturing. I think I'm seeing a lot of, I'm not sure's. Oh gosh. Yeah. Oh, I'm seeing lots of people putting in really cool transit emojis. That's fun. We do have a lot of SFMTA folks here. Maybe they are stacking the deck. Quite a few with a heart sign in the hearty eyes. One with a, oh gosh. I love the oh gosh one. Someone is actually sending a praying emoji, which is fantastic. You know, a few meh. You know, not happy, not sad. So it's working. I wish I could have shown it to you on the big screen. We actually do tally this. I know that seems silly, but we really do. A clown, a robot, an adaptive racer, Santa Claus. Sure. Okay. Yeah, I know, and we're starting already. Okay, that was fun. One last emoji and then we're done. Okay, moving on. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit, hand it over to Matthias, Jaime, who is leading this, kind of coordinating the cats a little bit. He's going to talk a little bit about the output of the last two working groups. Want to point out that we had almost 200 people engage with us, either coming and attending, some of you attended one of those, or participating in the surveys. And it was a real good cross-section. About half of them 51 of them were community members, meaning just representing them, their personal interests, their neighborhood perhaps. We had quite a few nonprofits of all different ilks. We did have quite a few people from the private sector, be they technology or otherwise. And we did have a fair number of city staff come. And that's outside the people who are like diligently working on this and meeting on this every few days. So there's quite a bit of interest at the city level of this. So I don't have any problem with the city staff coming because it means they're interested, right? They're engaged, which is fantastic. So we heard from you a few things, and this is a summary of them, not by any stretch all of them. But in the first two sessions, we said, well, what are the core principles or values we really should address? And we had a list of around 18 of them. And your energy and the input and the focus was primarily around these 5: accessibility, And interestingly, accessibility wasn't just about you know, people with different abilities. It was about accessibility for all. It was about universality as well, equity. Again, equity was a real important principle for you. Public value, making sure that that the public benefits from what is going on with emerging technology in the city. Having nimble and responsive regulation was a thing for sure. And we also felt a lot of people giving a lot of input and energy around there should be a net common good, right? That should be sort of our underlying principles and values that we're focused on. Of the 18, those were the 5 that really bubbled to the top. Lots of energy and input there. I'm not going to read all of these. They are in a handout. If you'd like the handout, we can send somebody out to get you one. But we did spend some time talking about, like, well, what are the benefits of emerging technology, like either currently or could be? And I think some of them that really threw my eyes into a sparkle was the ideas of increasing safety and security, like it actually can be used for good in that way. Environmental sustainability, better community engagement, that's interesting. More transparency, good use of public assets, meaning, you know, we can use emerging technology without harming our public assets. And actually using technology to increase our mobility and decrease our congestion, which is a problem we have in this city. We all struggle with it. So there were a number of them, and there was a lot of positive outlook. You know, we actually think that emerging technology can increase accessibility and equity. Like, it can actually do really good, right? Now, the potential issues or hurdles, there were quite a few of them, and these are the theme areas. So there were a lot of them, no doubt. You know, I think kind of the big ones were lack of government resources, inadequate protections for safety and security, concerns about privacy and security in that way. The fact that technology moves so quickly, you know, can we keep up? That was a big theme. You know, there was also a very clear understanding that, you know, there is resistance to technology. There were people in this room 3-4 weeks ago who were, you know, not very pro-technology, honestly. But there were people who were really pro-technology. There is also the concern that there's going to be a strain on the public infrastructure. You know, the city's infrastructure is strained as it is, possibly, and so this could actually put more stretch on it. So those are the kinds of themes where we really, when we heard you describe what the potential problems or hurdles would be for emerging technology, we put them into these, I would say it's around 14 theme areas. And those were really where, in the last month, the staff have put their energy around, you know, what are the problem theme areas, and how do we kind of close the gap between the potential benefits and those problem themes. So the staff's work to date, Matthias, do you want to talk about this? A little bit about what you guys have done. They have not just been coming to these sessions and writing down things on sticky notes.
Hi, everybody. I'm Matthias Jaime, the Director of the Committee on Information Technology. And I wanted to share some of the work that the city staff have been doing to support this project. We've been meeting weekly to really go through all the information that we've heard from you and really try to synthesize it. And that's actually what you'll see around the room today are the 7 tracks that we want to start pursuing to really start developing recommendations for that final submission to the Board of Supervisors in December. And so we've been spending a lot of time going through the report that we shared with you last week, but also collecting more information. And so one of the things that you're going to be seeing from us in the coming weeks is the output of some of that research and additional work that we've been doing. One thing that we always get asked are, what are other cities doing about emerging technologies? Are there things that we can learn from them? And so we actually had a summer fellow, Britt Bieber, who's been looking and talking to cities all across the country and now has talked to at least 28 cities to just hear about what they are doing about emerging technologies, what kind of pilots are initiating. And so we'll be sharing that report with you in the next coming weeks. And it's really got some good case studies for things that we might want to consider as we're developing our own recommendations. We're also talking to you individually. I think a lot of you we've already met with on a one-on-one basis because we really want to start getting more information on your perspective and what we can be going forward with this process and building those recommendations. The other output that we're really moving forward is trying to just get some consensus on some major themes that'll help, or foundation blocks, so we can help build those recommendations. And one question we kept on revolving around is, what are we actually talking about? What are emerging technologies? And so that was one of the questions we asked in the last 2 meetings, what your definition was for emerging technologies, and we also looked at the resolution that Supervisor Yee had provided. And we came up with this definition, and I'm just going to read it out loud. which is emerging technologies include new technologies, applications of technologies, and business models that are in development and have only been tested at market levels on a limited basis, will have a measurable impact economically, socially, or morally in the next 5 to 10 years, and they do not fit within the existing regulatory categories or schemes within San Francisco. And so with this definition, we're hoping to develop a little contours, a little more scope to what we're actually trying to make recommendations around. And this is something that we can continue to work on, but this is our first stab of creating a definition. So if you do have any input, we'd love to continue to talk and create that. The other foundation that we're trying to set is kind of a vision statement, like where are we actually trying to go with emerging technologies. This is a really great opportunity to hear from you all, like talking about the future of San Francisco and how technology can fit into that. And so we started drafting this, and it was different last time, and I think that reflects that we do want to use this period, to this working process, to make a vision that makes sense for everyone. And so right now the working vision is San Francisco embraces technology to enhance quality of life and our public spaces. And again, really emphasizing that, how is technology impacting our public spaces and how we're going to live harmoniously in the future. So these are a couple of things that we've been working on so far, but we're going to continue to be sharing you information. I'll try not to bother you with too many emails, but you are going to see a couple more from me in the coming weeks with different types of research and different kinds of outputs out there. But that's all I have.
I'm sure you might have questions or thoughts on it, so we're going to flip around this whiteboard over here and put up what I like to call a garden on it. Oh, here's already a garden on it. So if you have any input on that definition or vision, you'll be able to do that. I'm not going to do that now. I'll make a scene. If you have any input on that, I just think in the interest of the size of the group and the time, it'd probably be better if you put your individual input in the garden. And the garden is where we foster and weed and, you know, harvest things. We don't throw stuff away in a parking lot. Okay? Cool. Let's get to the stuff that we care about, which is your input. Okay? So this has, you know me, I like lots of parts and lots of different pieces. So this is a multi-part, 4-part session. I want to point out that if you are participating remotely, there is a link to a survey that basically is going to take you through the exact same process, but you get to do it individually and online. So that is helpful for us to get even more input for those people who couldn't be in person. Everybody in the room, you're going to do some really good work. I want to just kind of navigate what's going on. So there are stations, there are track stations that correspond to what you have in the handout in front of you. Track 1 is up here by Linda. Track 2, 3, 4 back in the corner, 5 in the back of the room, 6 over there, hello, and 7 is over here by Carrie, okay? So you are not going to have to make a choice yet, but I'm going to walk you through what we're going to do, and then you're going to do it. Cool? Okay, so we're going to do 4 things. First, you're going to do what we call a lightning round. So you're going to have about 10 minutes to walk the room, ask questions of the staff expert, interact, and what we're asking you to do is to take your sticky dots that you have, sticky dots, and as you're walking through navigating and understanding and reading, on the blue cards are the problem statements that we have kind of synthesized from the working groups. I'd like you to weigh in. Take a sticky dot and put it on the problems, as many problems as you like, that you think, yeah, you know what, we need to solve these problems. These are critical for us to address. It doesn't mean the other problems don't matter. It just means these are the ones that you feel are most important for us to address, okay? You can vote for as many problems as you like. If you're from Chicago like me, you can vote for the same problem multiple times, but you don't have to. 1 sticky dot means we're going to talk about it, okay? Got it? So that's a lightning round. You're going to have about 10 minutes to do that, right? Any clarifying questions? What is on the wall is the defining question, which is on the handout, the name of the track, and then all the problems. So the problems are really where you need to kind of like wrap your head around what are the problems in that track, okay? Make sense? That's the blue sheets. That's these right here, right? So each one of these blue sheets is not on your handout. The themes are, but they're more specifically articulated on the blue cards. You can put your sticky dots on the cards, the problems. You think, hey, we need to talk about this one. This is the thing we have to solve, okay? And we are hoping that we have most of the problems on the walls. We're not creating new ones today. We're actually dealing with the ones the hundreds and hundreds of problems we created last month. Then you are going to, based on your tour, walk around the room, take 20 minutes after that, and pick one of the tracks you want to deep dive on. I'm going to deep dive, and by deep dive, what we mean is you're going to tackle those problems. You're going to brainstorm and discuss and share and ideate on what are the possible interventions or solutions and our ideal outcomes. Okay, so you're going to walk the room and you're going to be like, yep, that's the one I want to talk about. That's your first deep dive. You're going to have about 20 minutes to do a deep dive. And then I'm going to raise the flag or scream in the microphone, and you're going to have another 20 minutes to go to another place. This is not, you know, the military. You can stay in the same place. You can go to a different place. You can leave a place in the middle. I don't care. The idea is, don't worry, you're not only going to get to weigh in on one place. Okay? And then we're going to do a fourth lightning round where you're like, yeah, I want to see what everybody else said, and I want to weigh in on what they said. So you're going to put a little star, an asterisk if you see something you like, or you're like, they totally missed this idea, and I'm going to slap that up on the wall. Okay? So you're going to get to weigh in on as much as you want. I just can't keep you here until Sunday. Got it? Okay, and I will walk through each step more elaborately as we get to this step. So here we are on the first step. You're going to take your sticky dots. You're going to get up, walk the room, pace around, get some clarifying questions answered, and weigh in on the problems that you would like to see solved. For those people participating remotely, the link is at the bottom of this slide. Oops. You don't have to sit down because you're going to stand up and go there. So you might want to not get too comfortable. Okay, so we are headed into the deep dive. So now would be the time if you're having a really good conversation with that staff member or the people standing next to you, you get to have even more conversation. Choose the track you want to brainstorm possible solutions for. Okay, you're going to choose the first track. Okay, with your facilitator, your staff facilitator, you're going to select the 3 or 4. Let's be ambitious. 3 or 4 problems you're going to tackle in the next 20 minutes. And for each problem, you're each individually going to be able to write down your ideas for solutions. And then we're going to process them out and synthesize, see where you overlap. And then you're going to discuss outcomes. So now is the time. Grab a chair. They're really light and easy to move if you prefer. Otherwise, you can stand. Go find the track that you feel like I'd like to deep dive on. I just was talking to Rick, and he had some pretty thoughtful things to say about equity. I hope he goes to that station number 4. Okay? Any questions? Anybody know what they're doing now? Where they're going? Jump in. It's about 20 degrees cooler on the front of the room in case you want to tackle one of those tracks up here. you didn't get to talk to, go look at the tracks you didn't get to participate in. If you see an intervention or an outcome you like, put a star or a sticky next to it. If you have something to add, go ahead and put it on a sticky and add it. This is your chance to make some final weigh-in on the few areas you didn't get to make a call on, right? We don't want to exclude anybody. If you see something you like, just put a star next to it, put a sticky dot on it. You don't have to repeat it. If you have an idea that's not on the wall, go ahead and add it. Just make sure you've read what's on the wall. thanks.
Oh, thank you.
I have one question to ask the group. If I could get your attention up here. I'm not tall enough. Stand on a chair. Okay. I think everybody, based on the discussion, has weighed in. Hi, everybody. Hey. So, I have a question. There was a lot of conversation going on, and I have a question that's up here on the screen. Did anybody get a new perspective or learn something out of this exercise? Come to learn something better? I'd like to hear from you, and I'm going to hand the mic.
Okay, let me think about this. I just really appreciated having conversations with people who are coming from 20 different places. And it seemed like a lot of shared goals from all those places. So that's encouraging.
That is a nice way to start the weekend. Anybody else? Thank you.
Hi, very encouraging to me to find that my views are not completely unique, that other people share those views. And that's something that I find very encouraging.
Bravo. Anybody else get a new perspective, learn something they didn't know? You've been around people that aren't like you.
Yeah, I like to hear the different perspectives from the private sector folks and the government folks and the nonprofit folks and and all the other million folks who are here. Everyone's coming at this from different angles.
Anybody else have a new perspective, something they gained, something they learned? Oh, I did not know that. Light bulb moment. Okay, cool. You can go online and you can contribute an idea or a thought. You can give us some input, right, Matthias? We are always open to input. Wow, that was a lot of work. So our next steps are September 17th, in exactly a month. I think that's a Monday, though. We're going to develop recommendations, like I said, maybe prioritize them. So, right, we were brainstorming ideas and solutions. So how do we start narrowing our focus so we can actually, produce something somebody can do something with? And then on the 5th, we're going to be sharing out the final recommendations, so you'll all have that sneak peek of what is going in front of the supervisors. We hope you can be there. Of course, if you join in person, you get lucky, strike extra, you get lots of sticky dots. And if you can't, you can participate remotely via surveys and online, etc. And again, there are all sorts of resources and information. But before I let you guys go and have a weekend, Matthias, anything else?
I would just add that we sent out a survey just before this meeting, but if you'd like to continue to add more comments or more recommendations, I'll continue to ping you and bother you to please send us the thoughts because we do want to have as many ideas. And please share the survey with other people who may not have been able to attend because we want to make this conversation much bigger. But thank you everyone so much for coming by. It's been really fun.
The garden is up here if you have something to add. I saw some people put some things on it. And staffers, please don't run out. I have a request of the staffers. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a lovely weekend.